Hello, everybody. My name is Phoenix, and I am once again here to talk to you about the Singularity. Today, it's going to be another bit of a unscripted video, similar to my last one. Um, and I really need to apologize ahead of time. This is literally just on a whim. I just had a thought and I turned my recording on. I don't have bullet points, I don't have anything scripted. This is just kind of raw emotion. Now, for my channel, I've really wanted to lean into more of the educational kind of, trying to teach people how to play the Singularity, some things about him that a lot of people might not know. And overall, I really just want people to feel like anybody can learn to play this killer. He's not just for a specific set of people. So he got some changes on the PTB, which just came out today. This is day one of the 8.1.0, I believe, player test build. So Singularity got a lot of quality of life changes, and one of them introduced an aspect of auto aim, which is applied to both his biopods and his manual teleport with his gun arm. So on paper, I do know that a lot of people were very concerned about this because they thought it would make him too easy. Uh, Singularity is known by many to be a killer that is very, very difficult to play. He's very hard, and the challenge of really mastering him is really what makes him appealing to a lot of people. But it also makes him feel very inaccessible to a lot of other people. I would argue most people, because most of the player base are casual players. Most of us are not out here doing competitive scrims or playing against high level teams for the challenge. Most of us come home from a long day at work or a long day at school, or we're chilling, on break, or, whatever people are doing. Most of us are just out here living our lives. And then we want to come home and play a video game. And then I see a really cool robot killer that plays very differently from a lot of the rest of the cast. And I think that's cool. What I don't want to feel is like, oh wow, this killer is super hard. Now I don't want to touch him. That's a shame. I'm disappointed. And I feel like that's why you don't see a lot of Singularity players. A lot of people have been scared off of him by the kinds of people who are really trying to master the killer and trying to play him at his peak performance, so to speak. And they talk about how difficult he is and how hard he is, and they put so much time into mastering him, and he's so hard, and that scares a lot of people away from your killer. I hope you realize that. So anyways, the whole thought with this auto aim is for people like me, for people like most of the player base who play on console, they play with a controller. The killer is a lot easier and he feels very good to play. So what the auto aim does is when you enter a biopod, if there's a survivor within your line of sight, it kind of snaps you to them. It doesn't move your camera. It's the camera is automatically facing that survivor. So when you enter the camera, you are looking at them. So for people that are already very good with the killer, I could definitely see why this could feel very strong. But the thing is, if you're playing the killer at that high level where you've more or less already mastered him, you are already accurate with your aim. Like, you shouldn't be missing teleports, or at least not very many. Like, this literally, this doesn't affect you. Like, this change isn't for you. Does it make him a little easier? Yes, I can't deny that. It does make him easier. But why is that a bad thing? Like I said, most of us are out here playing quote unquote pubs, which is just playing the normal game. We're not doing scrims. Like, we don't care. We just want to be able to play the fucking killer. And especially for console players who feel like they can't because he feels too clunky, this helps with that. I've been playing the PTB for uh probably about 2 hours, and I plugged my controller in because I really wanted to get the experience of these changes are for controller. Let me try playing them with the controller. I don't have any gameplay recorded for that, unfortunately, so I'm going to be reusing my old footage here. Um, but the, so just to make a little disclaimer here, I don't want to make rants on my channel. I don't want to turn this into like a salt farming channel. I know it gets clicks, I know it gets attention. I really don't care. I really want to foster an environment where people are welcome. You know, people are this is a safe place to ask questions if you feel uncomfortable with something. Like I really want to be able to help people feel like if you feel like you can't do anything with Singularity, if you feel like you can't play Singularity, my goal is to help people feel like they can. And it's not as hard as everybody says it is. This change was made for people like me who want to do that and who want the killer to be accessible for everybody, for console players, for casual average Joes who just got home from work. And the sheer amount of gatekeeping that I'm seeing from people on places like Twitter, people are saying that this change has dumbed down the Singularity and watered him down and taken away his skill expression. And I'm sorry, but I'm so fucking pissed off because it's just not true. You can look at people a little bit better. That is the very, very like broad term for what this change is. You can look at people better. What made Singularity strong was not his mechanical skill, because once you were, again, if you're playing with a mouse and keyboard on PC, you are already accurate. Like the mechanical aspects of him are they're an afterthought. They're not really anything relevant. Playing him with controller, it's hard. Like it's really hard. And yeah, that might be the appeal. Not everybody wants that. People just want to be able to play what they want to play and have fun. They don't want to challenge themselves every game. Some people just want to turn their brain off and play a fucking video game. And like I said, I don't mean to rant, but this really grinds my gears the way that people are approaching this. Like just because they made the killer more accessible for controller players does not mean that your killer is less skill expressive and dumbed down and brain dead. Like his macro game sense that you need to be able to play him well and the ability to make good decisions, his 4v1 camera mind games, cam fakes, teleport mind games, like all of that is the same. The things that made him genuinely skill expressive and hard to master, the game sense that you need to be able to play the killer at that high of a level, those are still the same. Nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is he's easier to pick up and play. His skill floor has been lowered. This literally doesn't affect people that are already good at the killer. And again, I really don't want to be like ranty. I don't want to put rants on my channel, but I'm very passionate about this killer. I really love this killer. And I really want other people to love him too. And I really want other people to feel like they can play him. And it feels like the people that are being very like elitist and gatekeepy, like, dude, just say you hate console players. Just straight up, just say you don't want console players to be able to do the same things that you can do. Like, it's so infuriating and it's so disheartening because I was so excited about these changes and I was watching people play on the PTB while I was at work before I could come home and play myself. And it's so sad. Like, it makes me so sad and so upset because the fact that those voices are out there means that the devs will probably see them and these changes may not come to fruition. And I get that it's a buff, but again, not everybody's playing him at a high level. Most people aren't. Like, making a killer easier and making a killer more accessible for a broader audience is not a bad thing. I don't understand the sentiment. Like, if you want a killer that's got a really low, or sorry, if you want a killer that's got a really high skill floor and a really high skill ceiling that's very difficult to master, like, go play the Cenobite. Because if that's all you care about, then you don't really care about the killer. You don't really care about the average player experience of, I really like this character. You're just in it for the novelty. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that everything about this patch is fabulous. It's not 100% perfect. Like, obviously, some things could use some fine tuning. And I don't think that everything in here is a good change. But regarding just the auto aim specifically, like, accessibility is not skill compression. Like, it doesn't change anything, and I feel like people are misunderstanding that. Like, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change how you play. It doesn't make it any easier for you. Like, oh, I don't miss any teleports now. Well, if you're playing with a mouse, then that's that's normal. Like, you probably should. I might have. I'm a console player, so I'm maybe my perspective is a little bit skewed. Maybe I'm a little bit biased towards these changes because I feel like they were made for me. But I feel like after, I mean, I watch Coco Latte, you know? I mean, I think anybody that cares about playing Singularity probably does. And it seems like he rarely, like, he's like the pinnacle of what Singularity looks like once you've mastered the killer, right? Like, people who want to play the Singularity well, they want to play on that kind of level. I feel like he very rarely misses teleports unless it's like a line of sight blocker or something or rather, but like if you're playing with a mouse, like your accuracy should be good. So giving console players the same skills that, I mean, not skills, but giving them the ability to do the same thing that you can do because you have better reaction time with a mouse or you have better precision and control over your camera movement with a mouse, like, this is not a bad thing. And besides, Singularity has a 1% pick rate. I think it was either 1%, a little bit more or less than 1%, but it was around there. But like the killer is well designed. I love Singularity, but the fact that his pick rate is so low, like that says something. And the only people that are playing him are like, I don't want to call them like massive sweats, but they're people that are playing with his strongest add-ons every game, bringing 4 slowdown, hard slugging at 5 gens. Like, that's just how the killer plays when you want to win, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, we don't need to be gatekeeping accessibility for people who are playing on a different platform or who are playing at a lower level than you are. This is not a bad change. This is a good change. The auto aim feels very good with controller. It makes me feel like I can actually like my reaction time, like I see somebody over there, but I physically can't move my joystick to get my camera over there quick enough. So I lose the teleport for that. This takes that away. PC player would be able to do that anyway. This literally doesn't change anything to and I keep repeating myself and I'm so sorry. Again, this is not anything that I had planned. This isn't anything that I had a vision for in my head. I just felt the emotions. I've been ranting about this all day because I've been seeing the worst takes ever, and it makes me so sad because gatekeeping is just not a good thing in any gaming community. And my channel is all about making people feel like this killer is accessible for anybody. Doesn't matter what skill level you are. Yes, he can be played at a very high level. He can be played extremely. He can be very powerful in the right hands, but you don't have to be. And I really want to preach that, and I really want people to understand that you can play this killer too. It's you don't have to say, oh well, he's too hard, or I don't like playing him, or he feels too clunky. Oh, I play on console, so I'm just not allowed to play Singularity. Like, no, yes, you can. You absolutely can. And this just makes that better because it makes everything more streamlined. It's just brought controller players up to the same level as the already good PC players. So I'll stop my rant. I know I'm kind of running over the same, saying the same things over and over again, and I'm so sorry. Like I said, I don't want to do these kinds of videos very often. I just really love this killer, and it really makes me sad to see the community being such assholes about this and just blatantly just being very elitist towards like the casual players, the console players. And so, yeah, the gatekeeping needs to stop. And I hope it does. And I really do hope these changes go to live because, again, it's not going to make a dent in the people that are already good with the killer. If anything, you'll just be seeing him more often, which is a good thing because how often do you actually see Singularity when you're playing in your live games right now? And it also means if he's played more, he'll get more cosmetics. So it's really just a win-win. Again, I do think that there are some things about this patch that should probably be addressed or tweaked. I don't think some of this should happen, um, but we'll see. But the auto aim, keep the auto aim. People just need to stop bitching and they need to get off their high horse and they need to stop thinking that they're better than everybody else because they learned to play the killer when he was hard. Like, he is still hard. He is just a little bit easier to actually pick up and play. He's still very difficult to master. His things that make him hard and make him have skill expression are exactly the same. Yep, so again, I'm repeating myself. I'm so sorry. I'm going to end this here. Stop gatekeeping, be kind to each other, and keep an open mind with these changes. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate everybody for paying attention to me and giving me support. On a more positive note, we'll end this on a good note. I did just recently hit 100 subscribers. It's a really small number, I know, but I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for everybody that's been interested in my stuff. I really just do this as a hobby, so the fact that people even care what I have to say is mind-blowing, and I see the regular people coming in and making comments on my videos, and I appreciate every single one of them. And I appreciate people like El Doingo and the Fake Banette who give me shoutouts on their own channels and kind of help spread the word. And it's really an honor, and it really makes me happy and appreciative and very humble. So thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you guys later.